Hello there everyone, and welcome back to the neighborhood. Let's take a look at an IEM from LetShuoer and Timmy at Gizaudio. It's called the Galileo. Let's get into it. The build of the Galileo is a clear blue resin shell with a swirled blue, orange, and white faceplate. The fit is very comfortable, and the shell is neither too small nor too big for my medium-sized ears. Inside are two drivers, a 10mm liquid silicone dynamic driver, and a Sonian 2389 balanced armature. It comes with a plastic carrying case that I can only describe as a plastic treasure chest. Inside are two sets of silicone ear tips, an oxygen-free silver-plated copper cable, and a cleaning brush. You can order this with either a 3.5mm or a balanced 4.4mm cable, but I would have liked them to include a modular cable instead, rather than making the consumer pick here. But let's quickly move into the sound. In terms of the bass, there isn't anything wrong with it per se, but it does lack detail, is mildly diffuse, and does warm into the mids a small bit. Nevertheless, it's not huge in low-end presence levels, so this mostly does not offend. Mids are slightly thickened, perhaps a bit flat in their sound, but full at the same time. Vocal presentation is good, well separated but not overly pronounced, both for male and female vocalists alike. The treble is fine for the most part, but these do lack top-end extension, and as a result, do come across a little bit too relaxed at times. Even so, the depth of the soundstage is good, and imaging is surprisingly accurate, with good depth and dimension to the sound overall. These remind me a lot of the Chauzy Rouge, which I liked a lot as well. Still, the Galileo is certainly tamer than that IEM, and transits were a bit flat in their reproduction. Timbre is mostly good, but there was a certain dull, almost mildly metallic quality to it, which makes it easier to listen to, but somewhat boring for me overall, especially in the course of longer listening sessions. Still, this is mostly inoffensive and won't be a bother to most. There have been a lot of comparisons between the Galileo and the Truthear Hexa because they both graph and are priced similarly. But the sound of these two does not really compare. If the mildly dull timbre of the Galileo is on the darker side of things, the Hexa's, while still somewhat dull, is on the brighter side of things. The top end does feel better extended to the ear and more representative in the Hexa though, while the bottom end of the Galileo is certainly better and beefier, even though there is some influence in the mid-range. You see, the Hexa in general is a much leaner sound in comparison, and its fit, at least for my ears, requires particular tips and a much deeper insertion depth to get a full sound from the Hexa than it does from the Galileo. Moreover, the Galileo is simply just more dynamic than the Hexa is. With that said, both will bore my ears over time, but I do find the staging properties of the Galileo to be additionally impressive, and it does grab the attention of the ears a bit more. A better option from Truthear might be the Truthear x Critical Zero Red. The Project Red is a bit more natural sounding in comparison to both the Hexa and the Galileo, but is only half a step behind these other two in terms of resolution and clarity. But hey, the Red is also at a bit of a driver disadvantage because it doesn't feature a balanced armature like these other sets do. And even though it's warmer, timbre otherwise feels more accurate in the Red. Three-dimensional sound is better in the Galileo though, so it's not really a zero-sum gain in comparison either. So the Galileo's performance is mostly appropriate for its price. It's a good sounding IEM, with decent sounding technicalities overall, and a good soundstage, despite some cautionary considerations, which its buyers will want to be aware of. Overall, it's mostly an inoffensive set that plays it safe for its listeners. Thanks for the honest audiophile for sending this set into the channel for review. I do really appreciate the support. And if you want to support this channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, like this video, and consider leaving a comment in the comment section. I always love to interact. And with that, I'm out for now.